At a corporate Christmas party in a hotel ballroom, an executive publicly accuses a contract cleaner of theft and forces her to empty her bag. A mid-level operations manager risks his promotion by intervening, paying out of pocket to replace the food and escorting her to deliver sealed meals to a pediatric hospital floor. The night changes how a few people move through their routines afterward, and it leaves him with a quieter measure of what he can live with. Before we get started, tap like, share, and subscribe to join the journey. And tell me, where in the world are you watching? Drop your country below. I love seeing the global trail of these stories. He yanked the foil pan from her hands, and it slapped the carpet, roasted carrots skating under the buffet table like bright little boats. A man in a charcoal suit with a silver tie said, loud enough to sting over the DJ speakers, "That's not yours. You're stealing from us." The woman in the black polo flinched. Her gloves were still on. "Empty your bag," he said, pointing with the tray like a ruler. Two security guards in black blazers closed in, earpieces lit, and the crowd pulled back, holding plastic cups and phones. Someone laughed, quick and nervous. The hotel tree blinked as a tray of sliders hit the floor and oozed sauce. The operations manager heard the clatter, and his stomach did that drop. Like the elevator skipping a floor, he'd seen the woman in the mornings, pushing a cart, humming to herself. He knew her face, but not her name. She kept the break room coffee pot clean. His promotion chat was Monday. The man in the silver tie on the carpet was the one who had told him 2 weeks ago with a hand on his shoulder that he was poised. The operations manager could already picture the new badge, the nicer laptop, the way his mother would smile when he told her on the phone. The woman didn't argue. She knelt, slow, back by the fake snow that ringed the tree, and lifted her small backpack. She shook her head at the guard, like no, like wait. The executive didn't wait. He grabbed the strap and tugged, and something clanked inside. He stepped between them. "Stop," he said, voice even. It came out steadier than he felt. "She's part of the event crew." The executive eyes flicked to him, then to his dangling red tie. "No," he said, not raising his voice now. "She is contract cleaning. She is not authorized to take food. We have liability." "I get that," the operations manager said. He held a palm toward the guards and looked at the woman. "Please stand up." He lowered his own voice. "I'm authorizing a donation pickup." "You can't do that," the executive said. "That's a policy. We are not getting sued because cold pigs in blankets made someone sick." "Charge it to me," the operations manager said. He had already pulled his wallet, fingers numb from the way the air felt fake cool in the ballroom. He raised a card. It wasn't his corporate card. It was his own. The hotel event manager. A woman in a headset hovered near the DJ booth. To her, he said, "Can the kitchen box 20 hot meals? Sealed. Separate from the event. Not leftovers. I'll pay now." She stared at the card. She glanced at the executive, then at the tray sweating under heat lamps. "We have to clear the floor," she said, headset crackling. "I can ask the kitchen to do family meals. It'll take 20 minutes. Do it," the operations manager said. "Please." The executive stepped closer, that cologne that smelled like pine and money riding ahead of him. "You are way out of your lane," he said. "We don't comp personal orders out of our event." "It's not compede," the operations manager said. He made himself meet the man's eyes. "It's me." Security had eased back half a step, uncertain now. The woman in the black polo was still on her knees. Her gloves were smudged with sauce. The operations manager shrugged off his navy blazer and set it on her shoulders. It swallowed her a little, but it felt like the right gesture. "Come with me," he said to the event manager. "Let's pay." "Hold on," the executive said. He pointed at the operations manager's chest. "You like your job?" "Not if this is it," the operations manager said. His voice shook on the last word, small enough that only the woman heard. The event manager took his card. "Kitchen says 20 boxes," she said into the headset. "We can do rice, chicken, veg. No dairy, no nuts." "Good," the operations manager said. He felt everyone's eyes. He felt the room keep breathing. A glittered reindeer turned slowly on a motor, oblivious. The guards didn't leave. The executive didn't either. He pressed his lips and checked his watch, a thin white face catching tree light. "You're not thinking," he said. "This is about rules." "It is," the operations manager said. "I'm making one." He signed the credit slip with a shaking hand and tucked the receipt into his pocket like a secret. They walked into the doors. The guards didn't grab him. They didn't have to. One of them held the handle and tipped his head toward the lobby. "We just need to clear the room," the guard said. almost apologetic. "Please wait outside." His phone buzzed in his pocket as he pushed into the lobby noise. A text from his boss. "Need to talk Monday. Not tonight. Please log your hours." He kept walking. The revolving door brushed his shoulders, and the cold slid inside him like water. On the sidewalk, the cold hit like a slap. Breath plumed. The hotel wreaths had thin LEDs that looked like distant stars. The woman came out behind him, hugging the too big blazer around herself. Without the ballroom light, she looked smaller. "I'm sorry," he said. He said it to the air and to her and to whoever was watching from upstairs. His card was already warm in his hand from being held too tight. She shook her head. "You didn't need to," she said. Her voice was soft. She looked at the ground like there was something written there for her. He checked the time. "Kitchen said 20 minutes, he said. "You have somewhere to take it?" She nodded once. She didn't offer details. He didn't ask. At the diner next door, steam fogged the windows, and people in winter coats leaned into bowls under row of green tinsel taped to the counter. He bought 2 cases of foil containers and a roll of plastic wrap. He grabbed a pack of nitrile gloves and 2 cheap foam coolers. It was all fluorescent and bright, and he was overpaying, and it didn't matter. While the kitchen cooked, he and the woman waited by the service corridor, where the floor smelled like lemon and mop water. The event manager carried out boxes, still steaming, and set them on a metal table. "Hot," she warned, and smiled quick, like she didn't have time to be kind and still was. He pulled on the gloves. He burned his thumb sealing a lid and hissed through his teeth. The woman laughed once, the sound fragile and short. They wrapped, stacked, wrote 12/24 on the top box. With a Sharpie the event manager lent them, the executive came to the doorway once, watched, and vanished back into the moving light. A DJ spun Mariah Carey. Somebody did shots and shouted Merry Christmas into the ceiling. The ballroom could have been any city, any firm, any year. When they had 20 boxes lined up, the woman moved her backpack from her shoulders to the table. She dug in her backpack for bus fare and came out with a folded paper and a plastic band. The band was a hospital bracelet, white, with a barcode and a small name you wouldn't notice if you didn't look. She slid the bracelet around her wrist and clicked it, like a habit. She didn't explain. She didn't have to. "I can drive," he said. He didn't know why he said it. He was in a suit and thin socks, and his car was 3 blocks away in a garage. "It's faster." She looked at him steady. "Okay," she said. They went to the hospital. The automatic doors whispered open, heat and disinfectant and the sound of night hallway wheels all at once. A volunteer in a red vest looked up and then down, bored, and then back up again when the smell of food hit. They rode the elevator in silence. The floors dinged by. He watched their reflection in the metal. A man in a suit with rolled sleeves, a woman in a black polo, with a too big blazer, both holding steaming boxes. It looked like something you'd see in a commercial if commercials told the truth. On the pediatric floor, the lights were dim. Paper snowflakes with shaky marker lines curled on the windows. A nurse with a ponytail opened the door to a lounge with a sink and a coffee machine with a blinking light. "Is this for us?" she asked. "She said us like a team." The woman nodded. The nurse's face did something soft. "You're an angel," she said, then caught herself and looked down, embarrassed by the word. "Thank you." They set the boxes on the counter. Steam lifted and fogged the coffee machine face. The nurse peeled back a lid and smiled like a kid peeking at a present. She didn't ask questions about how or why. She just started calling out, "Break room." Warm food. The woman stood with her hands on the counter, not touching, like she was afraid the boxes would disappear if she did. She watched a tired man in scrubs spoon rice into a paper bowl and close his eyes over the first bite. She watched a second nurse carry 2 plates under her chin, balancing like a pro. "We have to go," the operations manager said, after a minute that felt bigger than itself. He checked his phone. Another text. "Badge access temporarily suspended. Enjoy your holiday." He put the phone face down on the counter. In the elevator down, the woman took a folded drawing from her backpack. Crayon trees and a stick figure, with big round ears and a blue shirt. She smoothed it once, then tucked it back between the hospital papers. No speech, no story, just the careful way she handled the crease. They walked back to the garage with their breath hanging like little ghosts. He unlocked his car and cranked the heat. They sat for a moment, letting the windows clear. On the seat between them, he set the signed receipt from the hotel. The ink was still damp. "You okay getting home?" he asked. She nodded. "I'd take the 14, she said. "It runs late." "I'll drive you to the stop," he said. It wasn't a far walk. He did it anyway. At the bus shelter, a guy in a hoodie leaned over a space heater that looked like a glowing tin can. The route map had a corner peeled up and scotch taped back down. The woman stood with the blazer tight around her and the bracelet tucked under the sleeve. "Thank you," she said. She kept her eyes on the bus headlights a block away. "I'll figure out the work stuff," he said. She didn't tell him good luck or sorry or anything. She just nodded like the nod meant both. 2 days later, an email arrived with a subject line like a thread cutter. Policy update. Event leftovers. It was dry text about hot holding temps and donor forms and approved partners. It was also a green plastic bin rolled into the break room with a laminated sign that said donation and a blank space for the date. In January, the security guard from the hotel lobby stopped him as he badged in and lifted a paper cup. "Coffee?" he said. He paused a beat. "From me." The executive didn't fire him. He didn't congratulate him either. He offered a tight smile in hallways and once, in the cafeteria, set a wrapped turkey sandwich into the green bin and walked away like it was nothing. The event manager sent a note. "We have a form now. It's called a kitchen-safe transfer. Thanks for pushing." It had a little snowflake in the header left over from December. The diner taped a handwritten sign near the register, "Pay it forward box." The ink blurred where grease kissed the paper. People tucked singles in when they paid for soup. In the office, a junior analyst left 2 sealed boxes on the bench by the lobby's security desk. One night with a post-it that said staff meal, no one announced it. The boxes were gone by morning. The woman in the black polo came by the building a week later to clean the carpets on 5. He saw her in the hall by the copier, pushing a vacuum with a long orange cord. She lifted a hand when he passed. It wasn't a wave. It was just that small acknowledgement people give each other when they know something about a night. His promotion came late. The raise wasn't what he'd hoped. His badge worked again, and he still ate at his desk sometimes. Cold noodles out of a paper container, emails stacked like bricks. He watched people start to put dates on the donation bin without anyone being told to. Sometimes, at the end of a long day, he'd take the stairs down and pause on the landing halfway, catching a glimpse of the lobby, the tree gone now, the polished floor like a blank page. He'd think of a hospital lounge at 2 a.m. and a steaming counter and a nurse saying "us like a team." He didn't try to make a lesson out of it. He didn't write a post on the company chat. He kept the receipt folded behind his driver's license where it made his wallet not quite close right. He kept a box of foil in his trunk and a pair of gloves and a black Sharpie. On a late night in February, he passed the break room and saw the green bin with a line of neat dates in dry erase marker, each one rubbed a little by clumsy fingers. The coffee machine's red light blinked in the dark. He clicked it off. In the window's reflection, streetlights threw thin stripes on the floor. He thought of the woman, the way she clicked the bracelet back on like armor, the way she didn't waste a word. He thought of steam fogging in nurses' glasses and the soft sound she made when she tasted real food on a hard night. Outside, a light snow started up again, flakes easy and slow. He watched them land on the hood of a parked car below. He breathed out and saw his breath fog the glass for a second, then clear, leaving the faintest print of heat. The green bin sat quiet on the counter, a clean label for the next date waiting like a blank line.